The British colonial rule was established in the late 19th century. When they came, they brought what we call Western style education, and this later created education elite. Some were doctors, some were teachers, and also some were engineers. The characteristics of this was that there was what we call limited African political inclusion, as well as racism and also economic exploitation. When we check the media landscape, the first newspaper was introduced by Charles McCarthy in 1822. That was what we call the Royal Gold Coast Gazette and Commercial Intelligencer. Now, when it comes to the rise of the ingenious press, the first ingenious press was released in 1957. That was the Accra Herald. After this Accra Herald, we also had a lot of newspapers. These include Gold Coast Methodist, Times, and also Accra Evening News. We can also talk about what we call the Gold Coast Assize and the Gold Coast Observer. All these were newspapers operating as indigenous newspapers fighting for press freedom. Now, they also promote what we call African and nationalism, Africanity and nationalism, challenge the policies of the Gold Coast administration. Not only that, when you check the case studies of these newspapers, these include the Accra Evening News, which was introduced in 1947 by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Not only that, we also had what we call the Gold Coast Leader, which was introduced by J.E. Casley Hayford in 1902. All these things challenge the colonial administration and the censorship fighting for press freedom in the Gold Coast. The Ashanti Pioneer was also in the 1939 also established to fight against the British colonial administration and also for a press freedom. This was based in Kumasi and also a platform for critiques from the Ashanti Confederacy and also the interests of the regions or the people within the region. The Accra Herald, which was also a dominant newspaper introduced in 1857 by the Charles Bannermans or Charles the Bannerman brothers. This newspaper also fought against the British colonial administration and also for what we call the press freedom. When the British saw this, they tried to gag the press. Therefore, they brought what we called the Newspaper Registration Ordinance in 1893. Not only that, they also brought what we called the Book and Newspaper Registration Ordinance in 1897, as well as what we call the Sedition Ordinance, that's the serious one, in 1924. Remember, these British in 1921 released what we called the Gold Coast Pioneer to counter the people or the press fighting for their freedom. Thank you.
During the colonial and post-colonial era, where the media played a significant role in shaping the agenda of the country, the media was strictly watched and controlled by the government in power. The media wasn't able to move or run smoothly the way it should operate. Journalists within the media space had difficulties in working independently. They did not have it easy to be able to talk about pending issues or issues that were behind closed doors. Any journalist that went against any government or criticized any work of the government was penalized and was punished. You are either being jailed or your families were being tortured or harmed. Unlike now, where the media is free to talk about anything, where journalists are free to operate independently, causing no form of fear amongst journalists and people within the media space. During the colonial and post-colonial era, it was strict and very, very tedious. But now the media is free to talk about anything. Journalists go beyond to criticize the government when they are not doing their work very well. This is why now the media has a very powerful role in shaping the country's economy and agenda. The media is doing so well now, looking at how much the constitution that was birthed in the year 1992 has made the media stand out strong within its space.
Ghana gained independence in 1957. Their leader, Dr. Osatefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, believed that the media is a powerful and important tool to help build the nation and also educate the people of Ghana and unite the people of Ghana together. During this era, the government controlled the media totally. Due to this, the people of the media have the fear to. People of the media were afraid to publish any news about the government. Due to this, they couldn't publish any news whether the government go wrong or go right. This brought fear and panic over the people of the media. Also, there were some big media houses who were affected by this law. One, the Daily Graphic. When I talk of the Daily Graphic, it was taken over totally by the government, where they published news about them. Only good news were published about the government during the Daily Graphic. And also we have the GBC, that's the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, mostly used for the message, and also they didn't allow opposition blogs. They didn't allow anyone to criticize them. Anything they published about them was very good. They didn't want any bad thing. They only want the media to say any bad thing about them. So these were used by the government to publish good news about them. We have some laws that give the government more power over the media. We have one, that's the Preventive Detention Act, that's the 1958. This allowed the people, including the journalists, to be joined without going to court. And also we have the Newspaper Licensing Act, made newspapers get approved before operating, also which could not be taken away anytime. So during this era, the people of the government took control over everything. Whenever the government, the media, the journalists try to publish any information about them, they get fear and panic, because whenever they publish any bad news about them, they will be jailed, or some of their media houses will be locked. So this brought a lot of misunderstanding in that era, that's the Nkrumah era. So all what you are going to say is that Nkrumah said it will help the country to reduce freedom of the speech. The media mostly serve the government, not the people. This fits the authoritarian theory. This is where the government took control over everything. The media were not in charge. Everything that they did was in power of the government. The government took in charge of everything. They would tell the journalists to do this. Anything that will help to will criticize them was not allowed. Any good thing that will favor them, that the government needs. They don't need anything that will be criticized them. Thank you very much.